I'll tell you, there's a group of people out there that will consider that actions as old school. The man has to always engage. They always have to pursue.
The pursuer.
That's what it was. And I was like,
which we learned why that does not go well, but
it's not like this ain't the 1800s. You need to engage equally.
I don't need to go and hunt you down to your family's estate to give a formal letter.
There was a time
talk to your dad,
listen.
to talk to your mom, to talk to you.
All right. There was a time where even if I had to engage, there was a time where you would come to my house with a freaking pie. And you would have been like, yo, I baked you something. Or like you would have brought lunch. Like that was you re-engaging. That would have been you taking that foot, like you're reciprocating. There's energy. Like I understand.
Yes,
you like me back or something.
Cases.
All right, welcome back to Chocolate Espresso Podcast. I'm your host, Thomas Newer. We're rocking the same, being the same uniform. That's right. That's because, strangely enough, we just go back to the studio wearing the same things. Or maybe we recorded on the same day. I don't know. You tell
outfits.
Me. I got my boy...
King Dez in the building. You know who it is. We had to, kind of match a little bit, show you we came together. All right.
That's right. I got a question for you though. I love my questions, but I got a question for you though.
All right.
Do you feel like it makes sense if you're in a relationship for the other person to always hear you out? Do they always have to give you the benefit of the doubt? Do they always have to come up with the internalized solution to the problem, which always includes giving you the benefit?
You said, am I supposed to?
Do you believe in that?
Do I believe in that?
Yeah,
always supposed to hear you out.
Like let's say like the last time they spoke to you, you said you were gonna go to the store,
right?
And it's been like 8 hours. Like, hey, Dad's gonna go get a pack of cigarettes. He'll be right back. I mean, you ain't responding to texts or calls. Like, are you gonna give them the benefit and be like, oh, maybe their phone died. Maybe they ran out of gas, and maybe they needed to run some errands.
So like like consistently, like every time something happens, you gotta wait for them to give their 2 cents or something like that. Nah, I'm probably not gonna be in a relationship like that. I'm probably not gonna be because there's just certain behavior that's just too much. Like I do believe in always hearing your partner out to a degree, like always letting, because everybody, like if you can make an allegation or a statement for somebody, I think I'm because it's just the judge and debate in the justice system in me. Like you got to state your case, like, and if you can't fight my case, then I win. Good, like you know what I'm saying. But if I'm like, oh, you're a liar, you're not trustworthy, you're this or that, it's my job to provide facts that back that up, and it's your job to be like, wait, hold on. First of all, me and you talked about that. That was my mom's thing that spilled over here, so that one's out the way. Like every person has a right to defend themselves, right? So I believe in like hearing that out. But like you always on some funny stuff, and like I have no right to be upset because I always got to hear you out. No, I wouldn't be in that relationship. I would not. I couldn't do it. I could do it. You would do that one time. We would have a serious talk about like, hey, yo, I don't conduct myself like that. I wouldn't do that to you. And so that I'm asking for that in return. Like, even if you're going to be busy, if you're going to go away for a while as your partner, yeah, tell me like, hey, I'm clocking in. They said I can't have my phone. I will be messaging you in 8 hours. Cool. If you say that and then 20 hours goes by, and then I'm like, that you're on funny business, but then I'm gonna respect the fact that on 8, I can wait for you. I'll play the game, go kick it with family, do something else, go get some more hours on my shift. Who knows? But yeah, like I wouldn't be in there. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. Always on some funny stuff. I gotta hear you out.
Okay. But like, okay. So do you feel like you always have to do check-ins?
Check-ins.
Like, where do you think?
Like the emotional, like, oh,
no,
not
that. The if you're at work, you got to check in and say, yeah, I'm sitting at my desk. If you get off work,
just randomly,
like she said, right? You got to text me when you leave the house. You text me when you make it to your job. You text me when you're on break. You text me when you're about to leave or when you clock out. You text me if you need to go to the store. You text me when you're at the store. You text me when I text you. You answer when I call you. If you don't answer, you text me why you didn't answer.
No, that's too much.
They want a report. They want a report card.
Like I don't speak to. I don't talk to Jesus. It's like, what do you mean? Because that becomes. I actually have been in a relationship like that, so like I can specifically say, it seems cute and clingy.
Nah, that doesn't even seem cute.
When you're unhealthy, you're like, oh, that person wants me. But
if they are just clingy though, like what if it's coming from a space of I'm just like they've never been. There is no trauma. Right, there's no history of trauma.
They just think they should have that level of access to you at all times.
Like maybe they just like, I really love you so much or like you so much. Like I want to know what you're up to. You know, like maybe now is a good time to call or
Does
text
this person have a job in a life? Like, because like my thing is ain't
no way.
I'm a realistic optimist. No, I'm an optimistic realist. There we go. I'm an optimistic realist. So like I love to push the boundaries of reality after I consider reality. Like that's that first. You have to, I've always told this, I've actually told this to my current lady now. Yeah, we're gonna get married because I'm going to make that happen because she's worth it. But I was telling my lady right now, like, you have to have a hobby. Like, you have to have your own life, and we are blending lives, but we're a co-unit, if that would be the case. Like, you have to have something outside of me. It cannot have me in it at all. The only thing I can do is hooray, support you like a cheerleader. Like, I cannot touch it. I cannot be in it. It is just your thing. And it has to be outside of work, outside of other responsibilities, outside of us as a relationship. Like, this just has to be your healthy, fun release. Because that don't work. This is the, I don't want to say first. This is the healthiest relationship I've ever been in. And I'm glad because it proves that I wasn't crazy when I was talking to these exact people that you're talking about. Because she's like, why would I stress you out? I got too much on my own plate to do. Like I check in with you, and she does. We are definitely like all up and under each other. We talk all the time. I messaged her just now, but we do it when we feel necessary to do it, and we just respond casually. Like, hey, message me. Like our thing is like, message me when I message you. If you can't, just let me know. I'll chill out. Or communicate ahead of time that you're going to be going to do something. Whenever you're going to do something, we're never obligated. We already have that agreement. We're never obligated to respond. We respond when we can. You know what I'm saying? Because you're doing something. Like, I can't stop myself in the middle of a soccer game, playing with the guys for an hour, to go and check my phone every 5 seconds to see if you messaged today. That's anxiety, stress, and trauma. You know, like, no. Find something to do. Aren't you watching a movie? What are you, like, I should text you and you not respond. Like, what are you doing?
Okay,
you know, like,
so what do you think is fair where if they're doing something and they don't respond, where you'd be like, okay, you could have responded during that time? Like what's a scenario
where it's like, even though you were doing this, you could have...
Yeah, like you could have absolutely responded.
If you read it.
So you could see the read receipt. So you saw they read it, but they didn't respond. Right. Like, and you're like, and then you find out what they were doing, and you're like, you could have responded.
Because phones now, you have to market read when you pull it down and look at it through your quick glance. Because if you quick glance my stuff, internalize it, and don't respond, I'm not going to trip. But if you like read it, and then I see you make a post 5 minutes later, you chose not to respond.
You chose violence.
And then it's like, all right, like I was talking to you. Like, and the way I see it is, and I know people are different, there's a text culture, but I'm weird. I'm old school where like I speak when spoken to. And if you talking too much, I'll start ignoring you. Like, so like I understand that aspect too, right? Don't be talking all the time and expect me to respond to you. That's annoying. Don't do that. But like, if you speak to me, speak when spoken to. Hi, how's your day going? Oh, I'm doing good. I'm well. I'm at this thing. Boom. That's it. That's 2 seconds. That's 2 seconds. And especially I'm your partner. Like, I'm a person that you say you like, and you can't tell me, hey, I'm a little busy right now, but here's a quick 5-second thing. I'll get back to you when I'm done. Yeah. What's wrong with that? You know, what's wrong with that? But if you, like, my thing is, if you read it, because in order to read it, you have to now put your passcode in. You have to hold your phone up, look, see that I messaged you, put your passcode in, then go to the app, open the app to see what I gave you. Like, that's already 15 seconds there. And you can't take 2 more to go, oh, yeah. Let me finish what I'm doing. I'll get back. And now they make it even more easier. You can hold a button and voice record. You could just say it. At that point, it's like,
you're doing this on purpose. Let me ask you this then, right? Because, there was a girl years ago, many years, like a decade ago. I was talking to her, and she was one of those girls where you would have to text her or call her, and she'll respond. She'll respond all day long, but the following day she won't hit you up. You have to hit her up. You got to open that door. If you plan to
talk first,
you would have to talk first. You have to engage first. That's what it was. She'll go on a date, perfectly fine, great date, conversations there. But if you don't hit her up the next day, she won't hit you up. There was a time where it was a whole week. It was a whole week. I was just curious to see if she was ever gonna hit me up, and she did. It was the following week. She was like, "Are we good?" Yeah, I was just trying to figure out if you were ever going to hit me up or not. Because why am I the first? Here's the thing. There is a group of people out there that...
I was wondering, what was her thought behind this?
I'll tell you. There's a group of people out there that will consider that actions as old school. The man has to always engage. They always have to pursue.
The pursuer.
That's what it was. And I was like...
Which we learned why that does not go well, but
it's not like this ain't the 1800s. You need to engage equally.
I don't need to go and hunt you down to your family's estate to give a formal letter.
There was a time
talk to your dad,
listen.
to talk to your mom, to talk to you.
All right. There was a time where even if I had to engage, there was a time where you would come to my house with a freaking pie. And you would have been like, yo, I baked you something. Or like you would have brought lunch. Like that was you re-engaging. That would have been you taking that foot, like you're reciprocating. There's energy. Like I understand.
Yes,
you like me back or something.
Those cases, because the ladies would respond in that same old school culture, and they'd be like, they would invite you either over their house or on a picnic or something like that, and they would specifically tell you not to eat, so they could pack something. They'd be like, hey, and it's that point where, like, yeah, you could be the guy, you can make the dates or whatever, but it's like the third date in, it's their way of reciprocating. It's like, okay, I went on 1 or 2 dates for you, and I've learned this. And some of these people still practice it in debutante classes or whatever, but like by the 3rd or 4th date, it's like, okay, you're tending to them. Show them that you can actually produce something and create an environment. Let me get a taste
to see if you can even cook.
Right, like if you can even cook, if you have any etiquette about you, if you're able to engage as well, because nobody wants a shell of a woman. The guys didn't want that either. Like, yeah, they wanted to pursue, but they didn't want to get a piece of crap as a person.
There was a post by a woman who was married, and it was a response to somebody who was complaining. It was a girl complaining about her husband and their situation. And I remember this because she was like, I was raised to support. I watched my mother support my father. She had a degree. She used it here and there when they needed the money, right? She'll go out, she'll get the job, we'll get back squared away. She wouldn't work again. They were a team. Doesn't work for everybody, but
I get what you're saying. She was like the filler.
Yeah, she filled in. And then she talked about her marriage, and she was like, I married my high school sweetheart. This was at a time where that was a thing. It made perfect sense. And she said that for her, she does work. However, her job isn't of any importance to the household. Her money is just for vacations. That being said, she also said, we don't even need my money to go on vacation. My husband can afford all of that. However, he doesn't know what any of the bills are. I take his money and pay all the bills. I know what goes where. I know
the man will walk in and give the wife the check. That's what that was.
That's. She's like, I hold it down. I support him, and he goes out and he provides. I support the provider, and she's like, I love every second of it. And she's like, I can't comprehend not doing that in a marriage. Both should support each other. Don't get me wrong. I forgot someone else you said in the middle of that, but the premise of the whole thing was like, I'm a supporter. And from her perspective, she's like, I think that's what the role is. I could see how other people are like, well, both people should just support one another, and you can take that as a whatever. You know, some people, you know, they think both parties should work and both parties should split the bill even in a marriage. Some people are like, no, that's his job. Some people are like, you know, give or take.
There's different flavors to the marriage dynamic now. When it was all like just one way, like in over countries, it was like even different culturally a little bit, but it was like the same thing, and all across the whole world. So now it's like definitely a handful more ways to be married than before.
You can't have that conversation without talking about the fact that people were raising their kids off the impression that everybody needs to be independent, especially women.
Yep.
So now you got both parties going out being money chasers in a sense of the word. So you don't have a provider, and unfortunately the economy isn't built for that. The housing market, any market really isn't built for that. So even if you both are able to go chase a bag and somehow afford to live, let's be honest, it's still expensive, because now
it's still going to be expensive.
Like there's no winning.
There's people that since COVID, like they noticed their money got a little funny, and even though it's back now, like they're now like, it's weird because they downsize so much, and they're like, oh, we're gonna ball. We're gonna ball because we're gonna have these expenses are not the same as before, and then now. The inflation caught up a little bit. It's a few years after COVID, and they're like, it's uncomfortable. It's like, this still is a decent amount of my paycheck. Like, they're gone. And it's like, but when someone who's like 100,000 a year, 200,000 a year salary person can say that, and millionaires can say that, you definitely know.
You know something's coming.
Yeah.
That being said, too, like, just know that a lot of these people who talk about their marriage, a lot of these people who talk about supporting, they come from a generation where, again, they could have bought their house working at Blockbuster. Like, some of y'all don't even know what Blockbuster. That's like if Netflix had a brick and mortar location, and somehow, whatever reason, that's like buying a house working at McDonald's. Like, these people were able to do that. You know how many people I go and see at my job, and they got multiple property, and it's like a 4-plex, 6-plex, whatever, and they bought this property back in like the 90s, the 80s, and I can tell you now, I can look at the history, because you can go on Zillow, whatever, and you can see what they paid for this property and the market value, and it's like, you really didn't spend nothing on this property.
No. Back when you talk to these grandparents stuff, back in my day, you could get a house with an IOU, a basket of strawberries, and $100 down.
I'm like, back in your day, you bought gas for 25 cents. Like, cut me a break.
Right, literally. Like, but then for us, it was cheap to have 25-cent candy. We don't even have that no more.
Bro, my favorite brownies was 25 cents, and I almost had a fit when they went up to 50 cents. Now it's like $1 and some change.
I gotta vent. I always go to the dollar store to get my snacks before I go to the movies, when I stack up at the snack drawer in my house. It's Five Below, Dollar Tree, a blend of that, sometimes a little bit of Walmart in the corner store. And you can have a whole drawer. And I promise you, they took the fruit slices and they cut them jigs in half. Bruh. And sold this same size bag after cutting the fruit slices in half. You can ask my girl. I was distraught. I was messed up. I felt like an old man, because I'm like, they doing this now over some $1 bag of candy?
Keep in mind, it's the economy. The employees want more money because they want to live, and nobody who's in business is ever going to take a cut out of their profit for that. They're going to just charge more for the product, and we pay it. And they thought
they cut it and thought I wouldn't notice. I was looking at them like, these look awfully small, and I thought it was a defect piece. Yeah. I was like, oh, because there's always the messed up piece that gets into the batch, and then I'm like looking through the bag and I'm like, no, they really cut these jigs in half and said, yeah.
Yep, they'll buy it. They'll buy it. Did you buy it?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. I put it back.
You voting with your dollar. That's what I'm talking about.
I put it back. I was like, dude, we already at the bottom. Like, this is Dollar Tree, and Dollar Tree itself went up to 25 cents. That was a slap in the face. Everybody felt offended.
I'm telling you, man. Dollar Tree becoming in clutch in some of these rural areas, though. I ain't gonna lie. Now,
and that's what I liked them for. I was like, ooh, I could go to Dollar Tree. I could spend like $20, and I won't ask for a snack for 3 weeks. Like, I'm good.
No, I've only gone to Dollar Tree for like balloons and stuff like that, but there's some rural areas where I'm like, man, I actually need a pen or I need something, and they're like, oh crap, look, there's a Dollar Tree. Let me run in real quick. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dollar General too.
Yep.
Some of these rural areas, I couldn't find a restroom.
Dollar General is clutch. Dollar General almost did more for me than Dollar Tree did. Like they really came in clutch.
I'm telling you, I could not find a restroom. I needed to pee so bad, and I was this close to just going on some of the crops. I would have been like, man, I feel sorry for whoever gets this crop. It's probably gonna go to a cattle or something like that. But I was like, yo, I walked in, I was like, I gotta use the restroom, and I could not find a bathroom. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. I'll just give you the employee one. I was like,
can I tip y'all?
Y'all don't even know. Anyway, no. Final question. We're stretching this one. Do you feel like it makes sense if you're in a relationship and if you, this is like leading to another conversation, but if you're in a relationship with somebody and you obviously can't afford something, right? It doesn't matter what it is, but for all intents and purposes, let's just say
it's like that's out the budget. Yeah,
thing. like let's just say you in a relationship and you can't afford a child. Should you?
That's a reasonable thing to be like, hey, let me hit the brakes on this anvil real quick.
Right. So if you can't afford a kid, should you be doing the thing necessary to create a kid? Think about just a reasonable question. Now, some people would argue. Well, you mean there's tools that you could use, you know?
Right.
There's adult products that you could utilize or whatever, and it will help mitigate the risk of a child. That's not what I asked. Keep in mind, I said, if you in a relationship and you can't afford something, i.e. a kid, should you be doing the thing necessary
to get a kid?
If you can't afford a car and you're driving the vehicle... And you can't afford to fix said vehicle. You can't afford to put gas in said vehicle. Should you have said vehicle?
I feel like there's two levels of it. Cause
no, you don't want to say it. He doesn't want to say it. Just look at him. Look at him. You can't say it. Like I'm just saying. Like if you can't, if you can't afford to get injured and you never rollerblade, why are you trying to rollerblade? Downhill in San Francisco. I'm just kidding. Like you could do this on a flat plane.
I get the logic. I feel like there's certain things you can, certain things you can't. Like I feel like, to be honest, to be fair, on a healthy level, you probably shouldn't do baby making activities if you don't want to have a baby, right? I too would say that there's tools, but technically, there's only one time that I would be okay with being active and not be like, nah, forget them kids. One, if I already have kids and you my wife. Two, I don't have kids and you my wife. We're like, nah, we can't have.
That's two separate situations. The math ain't mathing, bro.
No, like those are the times where like we can do what we want to do, and like we have that right. We have that right to do that.
No. But then that's the same question. You already got kids. You ain't got kids. The question is, if you can't afford kids, should you be doing the exact thing necessary to do it?
Because like if I take care of my kids, I'm a good man. And that's my wife. That's my wife. Like I'm about to be in there. I'm not about to hear none of forget that. I got my two kids.
I asked a simple question.
I'm touching with no intention.
I asked a simple question. Married or not, dating or not, single or not, it don't matter. If you can't afford them kids, should you be doing the exact thing necessary to have kids? Married or not?
I'd be guilty. I'm guilty.
So the short answer is no, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, that's all you had to say. This full circle we just did for 2.5 minutes would have been summed up in 15 seconds. I'm gonna do it anyway. No, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Like okay, just say that. You just say that.
I understand. Like, hey, I shouldn't be, doing drugs if I can't handle the consequences of drugs. Like, I agree.
I'm just saying.
But I think it depends on the thing. It depends on the thing. Like,
Nah, if you
because I've done jobs that I haven't been qualified for, and I know like if I get injured on the job, like dang.
Hey, listen.
But also I've also got that payout, and I've been like, dang, maybe this is worth it.
Maybe it was worth it. That's crazy. Nah. I've been this it's only been 2 days currently as of this recording of the week. Really? 3 days, because Sunday is the first day of the week. Mm-hmm. But I've been having this conversation for a minute, and I'd just be asking people that question. I'd be loving what the answers be like. You can't afford this, so why are you messing around with this?
Why are you playing with it?
You playing games with yourself, bro.
Fate with this?
Like, this is wild. Like, and
I
to
get
be
it
fair,
though. I get the logic behind it though. I get it because like if you can't handle the consequences, why are you putting yourself in the risk?
But then people come up with excuses. They be like, "Well, people gonna do what they gonna do." Yeah, okay. Well, all I heard you say was I can't control myself. Maybe you should go sit in someone's chair and go. Maybe you should be on your knees for other reasons. You know what I'm saying? At a chapel or at a you know, you get my. I don't know. It blows my mind. Like, I be thinking about that. Like, you really out here doing what you're doing, and you can't afford to do this on your own. Mm-hmm. Like, why? I question, and to be again, you know, it sounds bad. I get people can get on the low. You know, maybe they were good and they lost their job, whatever the case.
Life happens. Stuff happens.
Yeah. Okay. These programs exist for that, but you ain't got none. You ain't ish. Right? Ish. You ain't crap. You ain't used nothing, and you out here doing the exact thing to create life,
to create more of what you're not going to care about.
And now you going to the government like, yo, I need help. I'm looking at you like, bro, why did you do what you were doing if you couldn't afford to do this right? Like. Even if you weren't gonna be with somebody and this was a result of that, like, okay, that's one thing, right? But you ain't got no job that you could afford, 1, rent, 2, to live, and 3, another thing to live on top of that. You can't take care
of yourself and you try to take care of yourself and something else.
Blows my mind. And then excuses come flying, and I just be like, I just got one question. If you can't afford the result of what you're doing, should you be doing it? If the outcome is this and it surpasses what you can afford to deal with, why are you doing this? There's not even a risk variable. It's just, why are you doing it? It's just a simple question.
Like, that's a natural consequence.
Maybe
you
I'm
can
the
play
a-hole.
And you can tempt fate, and you can be like, you know, I'm gonna do what I want to do, you know, and you have that right.
This is crazy.
But then I just don't. So for the same logic, like, I'm willing to let you do something, but then when the consequence that like is direct, like A to B, like this is the only consequence that comes out of this, it occurs, then don't cry to me. Like that's my thing. My thing is like, cause I respect somebody who's like, yeah, I fucked around and had, you know, my bad. I messed around and I had a kid, and I wasn't trying to have a kid, and it was a sneaky link, and it got out of control, and I have a freaking kid, and she want to keep it, but I don't. But she will let me sign over rights so she can move on with her life and not do that. So I don't know, but you know, I'm just being honest. It was dumb. I shouldn't have sneaky linked with her. And I was doing the thing, and this is what the thing is for, to make more things.
The thing
and
is
it
to make
happened.
things.
And it happened. And I'm just being real and talking about it. I respect that. I can respect because you're being honest. You're not giving yourself an excuse. You're taking responsibility for your actions. I can respect that. But don't do the thing and then be like, oh, I didn't see that. No, you lying. Like,
you a lie.
You lie. That is the only thing that comes from that is that. Bruh. Like, that's it.
All right, y'all. This is a long episode. It was nice having y'all. Peace.
Peace.